going on, all you awesome people? I'm Matt.
And I'm Vanessa.
And today we're going to be taking a look at Ant-Man and the Wasp, which stars Paul Rudd, Evangeline Lilly, Michael Douglas, and Michael Pena. Taking place after the events in Civil War, Scott Lang finds himself on house arrest and no longer in contact with Dr. Hank Pym or Hope. However, secrets from the group's past rear their heads, bringing with them a new villain aptly named Ghost. By reuniting with Hank and Hope, Scott can not only help save the day, but he might be able to bring long-lost family members home at last. Now, Ant-Man turned out to be a pleasant surprise in 2015, and I say pleasant surprise because I knew nothing about Ant-Man, nor was I really intrigued by Ant-Man.
Yay, Ant-Man! No.
Yeah, no, not really. But it turned out to be a good movie.
Sure did.
And with that being said, I was looking forward to the sequel. At least I was until Infinity War came around. Then my eagerness for this one kind of started to fade
It
a little bit.
Well, what are they going to do with, how are they going to make this work? What? So...
Yeah, and it comes right on the heels of Infinity War, which doesn't help its cause very much. But let's get into it. First off, what worked? Well, this is just a fun film.
It's fun, it's very entertaining, and just like, all the recent Marvel movies, it looks good.
It does. It looks great, but that's kind of a given. But with Ant-Man, or at least in the first one, you had a lot of witty humor, cornball humor, corniness. That's all back.
It's back.
And it works just as well now as it did then.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and the next thing is, of course, that Paul Rudd once again proves he can be a hero.
He can be. He's very charismatic. He's very like...
Hero, baby.
I don't even know what I was going to say now.
he does work well as both Scott Lang and Ant-Man, which is still shocking to me 3 years later that he can pull this off. Michael Douglas has more to work with here in this movie, as does Evangeline Lilly. They both have stronger roles.
Yes.
And then, rounding out the cast, you have Lawrence Fishburne, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Walton Goggins. They all do really well in their respective roles, but Michael Pena, this dude needs his own Marvel movie.
Michael Pena, okay, so... After you left, my first comment literally was, I needed more Michael Pena.
Yes.
He's hilarious.
Yes.
And I needed more of it.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with more Michael Pena.
No, you can't.
And speaking of wanting more from a character, the character Ghost was pretty awesome. I really liked this villain, and anytime she was on screen, it worked so well.
Yeah.
And she was very entertaining.
She was very entertaining. Her character is very, very entertaining,
cool.
And she looks awesome.
She does look awesome.
And her ability is just marvelous. I was very surprised that they were going that direction, because as soon as I saw her, I was like, I want to know more about it. I need to know the story. I want to know more. I want to feel for this girl.
Yeah. It was fun watching her. Anytime she was on screen, I could use more of her and more, I guess, about her character.
Yes. Or maybe a darker about her. I don't know.
Yeah, what if they went with a more darker, if they took her character and had more of a dark approach to that?
Or make her more of a darker image now. You see, what happens is kind of messed up, but I don't feel like she's so dark and mysterious sinister or anything.
We could have just used more of her, more about her character. We could have, I don't know. I know what you're trying to say. I know what I'm trying to say. We needed more Ghost.
We need more Ghost. Just
there
period. Done.
Yeah, done. Which leads, for me, my biggest problem. This movie, it's too convoluted. There's too much going on in this movie.
Right. So I feel like the movie is missing something, but there's so much going on that it shouldn't be missing something. But it is for me. I feel like this isn't a complete story. Isn't a complete thought. What's going on? It's too much going on.
Yeah, for me it feels like they took a bunch of subplots and just kind of threw them all into the same movie. This movie doesn't feel streamlined to me. It doesn't feel like there's one plot and there's just subplots branching off of that one main plot. It just feels like it's here and here and here. I mean...
Right, and things they go together, but they're unnecessary.
Yeah, like you have the FBI, you have this group of black market tech dealers, like, you know, going after a piece of tech, and then you have probation. You know, once again, Scott's on house arrest. You have family issues. There's some business proposals. There's so much going on in this movie, and it doesn't feel focused.
No,
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, and if it had been more streamlined, I think it would have. The film as a whole would have worked better.
Yes, I agree.
Also, questionable decisions were made at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. And of course, we're not going to spoil anything. We're not going to get into any spoilers. I'm sure most of you who are watching this review have already seen the movie, but still, we're not going to talk about spoilers. But there's a moment at the end of the film where I was kind of like, huh, why would you do that? It doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. You question certain things at the end, and they didn't really give you any answers. So.
Yeah, and that didn't really work for me. And then also, once again, coming on the heels of Infinity War, that's a hard act to follow.
It really is. It's very hard.
Well, it's a hard act to follow, and we were wondering how it was going to tie in, and it does, and I like how it ties in, but when we were talking right before we started filming this review, something struck me that doesn't sit well, and that is the way that this movie ties into Infinity War actually had me more excited than the movie did as a whole. And that kind of hurts.
That was my point that I wanted to make, was the fact that once it ties into Infinity War, I'm like, oh my gosh, when is that one coming out?
Yeah.
And that's pretty sad when you just watch this movie, even though it was quite entertaining. There was not a whole lot of substance to hold on to.
Yeah, and it is kind of all over the place, and so this is tough, but I'm gonna go ahead and give Ant-Man and the Wasp a C+.
Okay, I have B-.
I don't feel good saying that. I really don't. And it may be that once time goes on and we're more separated from Infinity War, and I watch this movie again, it might feel better.
Or watching it in a different order, as it probably. I still wouldn't know if that would work.
No. I think chronologically this one does follow
It would have to.
Infinity War.
It would.
And that, or it's like right at like kind of same time, like before and same time.
Well, maybe you could try to do it like the one right before. Maybe. I'm trying. But that doesn't work because Thor Ragnarok has to be the one right before.
We're trying to make ourselves feel better about Ant-Man and the Wasp. Look, bottom line, it is an entertaining film. It probably won't wow anybody. It's humorous. It's messy. It's kind of disposable fun.
Yeah.
Which also doesn't sit well coming off of Infinity War. Because Infinity War is fun, but it's not disposable fun. Even though we're talking comic book movies, but it's still... That movie hits you with such a punch, and this one comes in and... almost forgettable.
Almost.
But it is still worth checking out, though. It is. I will say it is worth checking out. Maybe like a matinee, or maybe just to keep in the loop with what's going on in the MCU. But of course, if you've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, we would love to know what you guys think about it, so leave your comments down below. Of course, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see more of our awesome movie reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
You guys are the best, and as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you fantastic people next time.